Hey everybody, I'm Tom Harari, SEO Manager here at iAcquire. Welcome back to another edition of Cliff Notes Tuesday. We're going to be going over quick-fire link building tips. This is the, I think, second to last chapter of the link building book by Patty Mugen. Last week you probably saw the link building techniques chapter, a very lengthy chapter with lots of really good and detailed link building tips. This one is pretty short, sweet, and to the point, so we'll jump right to it. It's meant to be really easy to implement, therefore it's not really super detailed, but we'll walk you through it anyway. So the first tip that Patty mentions is to find competitors' guest posts really quickly. How do you do this? Really simple. So first, try to take a look at where some of your competitors are getting their guest posts. Where are they posting online? And what happens is people tend to be really lazy. Right, so what you want to do is just go down to the author bio box where they say this author is XYZ and blogs here and there. Copy a line from that author bio, go into Google, paste that line, and if they're really lazy, you'll start to see a bunch of different pages on the net where they are getting their guest posts and they're using the same author bio over and over and over again, and voila, you have a lot of really juicy link targets. So really super simple to set up and get going with, and should net you a lot of results really quickly because, again, people are really lazy. The next tip, start prospecting on page 10. I really like this tip a lot because it makes a lot of sense. And again, it goes back to the laziness factor of your competitors. Most people, when they start prospecting and they go into Google and they type in a specific search query that they want to use for their prospecting, right away they start looking at the results on page 1. The problem with this is that everybody else is doing this. You're really not unique, and what tends to happen is that those bloggers or websites on page 1 are getting bombarded with requests from SEOs. So if you reach out to them, you're either likely to not get a response back, or they might say something like, sure, we want $300 for every guest post. Yeah, right. Instead, start on page 10. No one's contacting these people. They're not any worse off than the guys on page 1. As long as the metrics make sense for you and it's in the same niche and you feel comfortable with the quality of the blogs, starting on page 10 can get you a lot of really juicy websites and bloggers to reach out to that aren't as contacted, quite frankly, as often as the guys on page 1. So a really good tip from Patty that I love. The next tip is a little bit unorthodox, a little bit non-traditional, but still pretty good. So what he recommends here is to take a blogger out to an event. And the specific example that he says in the book is that if you work in the auto niche and you're looking at different auto bloggers, go ahead and take them out to the car show that's happening in your city or to a racing event that's happening. This is a really good tip because it helps you build real offline relationships with people, become friends with them hopefully, so it becomes more than just a cold email that's asking for a link request out of the blue. And the last one, the fourth tip, is not going to net you a whole ton of links, but it's pretty easy to set up, and it might get you a couple of links depending on what industry you're in. So what tends to happen a lot on Twitter is that different bloggers or journalists are looking for help with a story that they want to write. So maybe they're looking for advice or they want an expert in a specific field. And if you yourself or your company or the client that you work for are indeed experts that match what that journalist is looking for, then it could be a really great match to get them set up and hopefully get a mention in an article. And so what you really want to do is look at the hashtags PR request and journo request. You can even save those lists and then periodically just go ahead and check them. Again, might not net you a whole ton of links, but it's really easy to set up and you might as well do it. There's a good chance that a lot of your competitors are not doing it. So like I said, really short, sweet chapter. A lot of really good tips here. Check back next week. I believe it's going to be the final chapter of the book, the link building book by Patty Mugen. I'm Tom Harari, signing out.